gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
So we're back, and we're talking about who the Goonie Goo Goo is.
Savitar.
Thank you, Superstar. So, we got Superstar, we got Cal here, and we're going to discuss this. Cal, why don't you start off?
Well, from the last episode, looks like they're leaning that it's Ronnie Raymond. Killer Frost, or Caitlin Snow, sees whoever is inside of the armor. And I admit, while I am annoyed that they have dragged it out so long as to who Savitar is, and this is the third year that we've had to deal with this secret villain, and who is it? And usually it's always somebody close to the team or somebody on the team. You would think, okay, maybe not. No, we're going to do the same thing this year. But in that last episode, I said, okay, fine. I'll give them a little bit more room so I can find out. But there aren't a lot of other people. Who is it that Caitlin would see as Killer Frost, and that would allow her to say, I'll do whatever it is that you want me to do? The only person I could think of is Ronnie Raymond, which sounds like some misdirection, but hey, that's the best I got for now.
What about you, Superstar? What you thinking?
Well, at first I also thought it was Ronnie Raymond, but this thought came to my mind. Why would the speed god be someone whose powers originally weren't speed?
Okay.
So the only person I could think of who Savitar could be that Caitlin would say yes when they saw would be Eobard Thawne as Harrison Wells. Because in season 1 and part of season 2, Caitlin always the one person Caitlin was attached to more than Ronnie was Harrison Wells. But it wasn't actually Harrison Wells, because the real Harrison Wells didn't know Caitlin Snow. It was Eobard Thawne disguised as Harrison Wells. And the only possible way that could happen would be that Eobard Thawne as Harrison Wells would run to the future, but he'd have a time remnant back there so it wouldn't cause any paradox. And then he'd travel around the world through time, through the Speed Force, find out how to get faster, and then maybe something would happen that would make him the Speed God. This is the only thing I can think of. What about you?
Interesting thoughts. I mean, look, initially I had a number of different people. Number one was Wally. I thought it was Wally, dead end. I thought it was Wally who was doing it. You know, he was getting back at his sister. He was getting back at the Flash. You know, but clearly, as we see in this episode, he's catatonic, so it couldn't be him. Something happened to him. Now, I see what you're saying about Ronnie Raymond. You know, but I just think that's just the obvious thing. That's the problem. You know, who would she jump? And I also see your point about being West, but I think it has to be somebody that no one else suspects. Someone who is a speedster in disguise. One thing that surprised me, though, is that when we saw the character come out of the armor, you know, are you a speedster with the armor? Is he a speedster with the armor or without the armor?
Well, it wouldn't. I would think it wouldn't matter. Okay, at least that's my thing, because all the speedsters, wouldn't matter what they have on. It's not going to slow them down because of their speed.
Because they have access to the Speed Force.
Yeah, so they could be wearing something that wears a ton. Once they can get one foot in front of the other, there's just going to be perpetual motion for them. So that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, it's just kind of tough, man. All my theories have been shot out the window, from Harrison Wells. Like I said, I did not expect Ronnie. I just thought that's just totally out of left field, and I agree with you with that, Superstar.
I'm just trying to think I'm really trying to think. Harrison Wells would be, I don't know, I could argue against Harrison Wells. But aside of that, I'm really racking my brain as to who would actually assert some influence over Caitlin Snow. But then it's not Caitlin Snow, it's Killer Frost.
Exactly.
And Killer Frost is, you know, shown like Earth 2. So I'm thinking, okay, who on Earth 2 had a lot of influence over her? And again, it was Ronnie, or it was the fact that she had, they had Zoom, but Zoom was threatening her, so not so much influence there.
She was afraid of Zoom.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think of someone else, and then it has to be someone Has to be someone who's a speed. You know, it has to be the logical thing. Okay, it should be a speedster, but Ronnie Raymond does have superpowers. Perhaps somehow she's able to translate those powers in that armor. I don't know.
Towards Julian Albert, because in the episode where they like use this mechanism.
Sorry guys, this is what happens on live TV shows.
Because in the episode where they use this mechanism or device that can let them talk to Savitar through Julian, because he was an acolyte. What if he wasn't an acolyte, and what if they weren't talking to Savitar? What if Julian was just talking?
I've thought of that too. That's a good idea. And what if it's really Julian underneath all of it?
And he would have influence on Killer Frost, because he was the only one who actually knew who Caitlin was going through. When, if he is Savitar, then he'd be masked as Alchemy, and he'd at one time be an acolyte, which Caitlin is. So he'd know what it'd be like to have the powers, get rid of the powers, not have control.
Right.
But at the same time, he actually wouldn't.
But it also, I like that, but it also the key thing is that he would hate Flash. And what Flash did to Caitlin or to Killer Frost, it'd be something that, it has to be somebody who
part
has
of it also
antagonism towards Flash. So we have to find someone who's like, so Ronnie has that because, hey, he let him die. And Killer, and you can see, what's his name, Albert, had the same issue.
That ties into the
But it
clue.
was the same thing with season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like with Eobard Thawne, I mean, like he could have killed Barry at any time. With Zoom, when he was masked, it was Jay Garrick. He could have killed him at any time. So that means both season 1 and 2, the villain, they were friendly to him only for one reason. They needed him.
Right. What does this guy need?
Exactly.
So
Why does he need him to wait till that specific time?
Well, the only clue that I've got that I've been wrestling with is that he says, "Look, I've got to take you out because if I don't take you out, if I don't do these things, you're going to be responsible for the death of me." So, okay, it could play into Ronnie Raymond, but Ronnie's death happened already in the past. So, you know, but you know, between all the time travel, going to the past, going to the future, Flashpoint, time remnants, there's a lot of different stuff that they can play with here. You know, I just don't have enough data to go on. I just don't have enough data to go on, unfortunately.
They've done a great job this season of keeping the stuff hidden. So we gotta wrap it up, guys.
Go ahead, wrap it up.
Well, we do have some data. In Flashpoint, Julian Albert was there. Before Flashpoint, he wasn't. After Flashpoint, Julian Albert's there, and Savitar.
Interesting thought. Okay, so you got Julian Albert, you got
Ronnie Raymond,
and I have Don, because he's the one who started the whole damn thing off. It's possible.
Yep.
So, all right, Spinner Rack out.